let's talk about the last key component of executive presence, communication. In this lesson, we will be talking about effective communication with executives, upper management, client, and stakeholders. Communication is not so much what you say, but how you say it. Your tone of voice, your choice of words, your inflection, articulation, and delivery, and your body language all contribute to your success in communicating a message and making an impression on others. When it comes to communicating, you must always be on, meaning that you must think of every interaction as an opportunity to present. Even if you're not formally presenting a slide deck or standing on stage, you are always presenting yourself. Every email you send to your boss, every comment you make to a colleague, every proposal you make to a client should be an example of how you professionally present yourself. These interactions provide you with the chance to convey your authority, give insight to who you are, and control the impression you make on others. Effective communication is all about engagement. Let's talk about several ways to grab and keep the attention of your audience. First, you'll need to possess superior speaking skills. This is something you'll want to work on frequently. Being articulate, using good grammar, and removing distinct verbal cues from your speech improves your effectiveness. If you can reduce filler words like like, or you'll present with more perceived expertise and executive presence. Superior speakers also control the tone and pitch of their voice. Those who can speak with a lower pitched voice often have an easier time keeping audience attention. Now, I'm not suggesting you attempt to emulate Morgan Freeman in your next business meeting, but I do recommend using your lower register if possible. Having a lower quality to your voice can help you sound authoritative and boost engagement. You'll also need to learn to command a room. You've only got about 5 seconds to hook and captivate your audience. So how do we quickly get people we're presenting to or speaking with to engage? We can start by being human. Use your personality and experiences to relate to your audience. Use narrative and storytelling when you can. As you work through a story or an anecdote or a metaphor, emphasize certain words. Take appropriate pauses. Build suspense. And even know when not to speak. Silence is an incredibly powerful tool in a presentation or a business negotiation because it keeps your audience on edge and puts you fully in control. It's also important not to drag down a discussion or presentation with too much data. While it can be extremely important to share, it's always better to cut to the chase and keep the number of facts and figures relatively low. The data and stats you choose to include should feed your narrative and provide evidence for your key points, rather than take the main stage as the key point of focus. Props can also slow down or inhibit an effective conversation or presentation. Having too many notes or too many papers to shuffle, too many PowerPoint slides, or glasses that you keep adjusting. These can all distract an audience and hinder your ability to get your point across. Keep extras to a minimum. To do this, practice, practice, and practice. Know your material, know your stuff. So when you present, you can maintain eye contact, take command of the room, and exude confidence to your audience. Lastly, keep your message succinct. Rambling is the antithesis of effective communication. In the words of senior sales trainer Will McDonald, your aim is to be brief, be bold, and be gone. Assertiveness is an important behavior when showing gravitas, but also should be something you can demonstrate in communication with others as well. As a current or aspiring leader, you must be comfortable with showing your teeth and standing firm in your decision-making. You can use assertiveness to command a room, especially if you are prepared to defend your decisions in a calm, measured, confident manner. Just as importantly as commanding a room is reading a room. This is where emotional intelligence will really benefit you. You must learn to sense the mood of the room, to have an understanding of who you're speaking to or meeting with. Once you've identified your audience, you have to be prepared to adjust your language, content, and presentation style to best fit the needs and wants of that audience. For example, if a NASA researcher is asked to present their findings to their peers, The communication style used, the presentation and data chosen, and the word choice would be vastly different than if that same researcher were explaining the fundamentals of our galaxy to a group of middle school students attending a summer space program. Sometimes you need to change your tactics on the spot and change up your delivery method to ensure the information you want to provide can be absorbed and understood by the target audience. It's imperative that you tune yourself out and tune into the people in the room to determine how you'll implement those on-the-spot changes. This is not pandering to an audience. Instead, it's simply making them comfortable so that they will be interested in your message and have the confidence to take it with them. Humor, when used appropriately, can be a great way to engage, catch the attention of, and win over an audience. A well-timed joke can break tension, lighten the mood after a heavy subject, and loosen up audience members. Don't worry if you're not Kevin Hart or Jerry Seinfeld. It's probably best you're not. But even if humor isn't your strong suit, just being able to converse and engage with others on a human level is something we can all aspire to do. Knowing how to bond with others over simple things, be it current events, local sports teams, or a popular TV show, can help endear us to others and allow us to make easy surface level connections. Once those connections are made, we can then go in deeper and engage clients or colleagues in other discussions. Body language and posture speaks just as loud as the words you say. Body language tells everyone whether you are confident, engaged, and present. This is a major piece to the first impression you make on others because the way you stand or sit lets people read you. To master your body language and posture, be sure to keep your head up, gaze forward, with eye contact as much as you can. Keep your shoulders back, but in a relaxed position. Maintain poise and keep your expression positive. You should be radiating positivity and presence in the conversation through your body language. Avoid things like pen clicking, foot tapping, nail biting, slouching, doodling, and worse, staring at your phone. Nothing says my time is more important than yours than checking emails or even worse, scrolling through social media in the middle of another's presentation. So now we know how to be an effective communicator in a variety of settings with varied audiences. But let's focus in on speaking to high-level leaders. There is a type of strategic communication that some refer to as executive speak that you'll want to master for the best interactions with executives and upper management. So how does one speak like an executive? You simply deliver your message concisely and definitively, starting with the bottom line or big picture and only sharing details sparingly or when asked. You have to know how to get to the point quickly, then provide explanation only as needed. Choosing your words carefully also helps. Avoid overuse of technical terms and throw out flowery or soft phrasing too. Be direct, to the point, and firm. Executives have consistently full schedules, multiple departments to manage, and company goals to drive. If you manage to acquire their time, make the most of it by grabbing their attention and keeping it. Let's switch gears to talk about persuasive communication, which involves more strategy in your communication style. Persuasive strategic communication means to communicate with purpose while showcasing value to achieve a goal. Strategic communication helps you to evoke specific responses out of your target audience, and with those responses, you can get what you want out of the situation as well. You are communicating in such a way that both parties involved in the conversation feel that they are both benefiting from your suggestion or your offer. So how do we accomplish this? First, we need to identify the goal we're trying to achieve. Is our goal to land a partnership with a major company? Is our goal to obtain a raise or a promotion? Whatever it is, we must define it. Then we need to understand our audience. Who are we speaking to? What does this person or this entity value? What do they look for when striking up partnerships? What do they need to see when they're choosing a new vendor? Lastly, we need to communicate the value in reaching the goal. What is the benefit to this individual or to the company of putting you in the executive role? What is to be gained from a partnership with your company? How will you solve a specific problem or add value to a department? If you can clearly communicate your value to your audience, you will help them arrive seemingly naturally to the conclusion that you want. With persuasion and charisma at your disposal, you will have no trouble compelling others to listen and buy into your message. To excel in these different areas of communication, consistent practice and feedback from mentors or peers is a must. Ask someone you trust to watch you present and give you pointers. What can you correct? What can you do better? What do you do well? And in time, by continuing to practice and applying the feedback you receive, you'll have mastered effective communication and will exude executive presence in all of your interactions.